All right, welcome to the Verge's gear closet, which is in a perpetual state of ruin. Okay, so today I am packing my bag to go see Matty Benedetto. He is the inventor and creator behind Unnecessary Inventions. So the whole idea behind Matty's content is that he's an inventor who creates products to solve first world problems.
I invented the burrito bumper, the food funnel for sloppy burritos that catches your fallen fillings and carefully crafts a secondary taco for you to enjoy.
And even though Matty's inventions aren't actually for sale, he's created a business just posting about them. And this has paved the way to a lot of brand deals, a Super Bowl commercial with Captain Morgan, and even TV appearances.
Matty Benedetto, y'all!
Thank you for having me.
I'm Becca. Welcome to my Creator Focus series where I go spend a day with a creator that I really admire to figure out how they do what they do and why they do what they do. This is the Unnecessary Invention story. And I think I packed too much gear. Oh my god! Matty's studio is in the heart of Burlington, Vermont. It was once a Gap store, but now 3D printers hum, churning out pieces for new inventions, and shelves sit full of collector's items. It feels like a museum, filled with all of the coolest trinkets from the internet. I wanted to hang out with Matty because he's a rare creator whose content hasn't really changed since he started being a creator. Yet his business and his audience has continued to grow.
So I started Unnecessary Inventions in March of 2019. It was probably like 10 inventions in that I was only posting them on Reddit. I'm like, every single one I've posted has made it to the front page. I've got something here. So that's when I sort of transitioned over to Instagram to just sort of try and create my own audience.
His first inventions were presented on Instagram and Reddit as photos, with written descriptions about what they did.
I could make this thing and be like, it does this, and this, and I didn't have to actually film the video. So it was a little easier to have a crazy cadence of getting them out. It was about September of 2019, so 7-ish months later from first starting, I got my first brand deal, and the agency was like, so what's your rate? And I'm like, I have no idea what my rate is. And I gave them a number. They're like, you're worth more, we're gonna double it. And I was like, okay, I've got a baseline now.
There are many ways to make a living as a creator, from crowdfunding to selling merch, but Matty makes a majority of his money via brand deals and AdSense revenue. AdSense is a program that puts ads before content and pays creators a small share of that ad revenue. And a brand deal is a partnership between a company and a creator that compensates the creator for promoting a product or a brand. So for example, a few months ago, Apple reached out to Matty asking him to make a social video for his audience showing how he makes his inventions. The deal was that Matty would design the invention using a Mac, which he normally does anyway. And here's what that video looked like when it was finished.
I invented the credit card roulette machine, and in collaboration with Apple, I'm gonna show you how I built it on my Mac. To get started, you basically have regular rudimentary shapes, and then I'm able to tweak all of the little dimensions as we go along.
Matty didn't feel comfortable sharing numbers, but for a creator of his scale and a company as large as Apple, a partnership like this can pay tens of thousands of dollars. And then the day that I was with him, Matty was making his other form of content, one of his classic I invented social videos, using the credit card roulette machine. This video, it doesn't have a brand behind it, but it will hopefully generate AdSense revenue, gather more followers, and maybe catch the attention of a brand that may want to partner. But this is the genius of Matty's business, both his preparation of creating an unnecessary invention and the demoing of how the invention works make for content that generates revenue for his channel. And more importantly, both can easily be paired with a brand. But while I watched Matty work, I noticed that his creative process was much more chaotic than his business strategy.
Okay, shot one, done.
Matty edits his videos as he's shooting them. There's barely a script and absolutely no shot list.
I'm a very big doer. I don't think, okay, what's step 1 I have to do, step 2 I have to do. I'm like, okay, let's go to step 5 and just start doing it. And that's what works with Unnecessary is that I don't think okay, well, why wouldn't it work? What, it's I just think of idea in my brain, how do I make that a reality?
Using a Sony ZV-E1 and an M3 Max MacBook Pro, Matty takes endless trips between his invention and his camera setup and his desk and his editing software. He would film a bit.
Fully missed it.
And then edit a bit.
I invented the credit card roulette machine, the easiest way to...
And then film a bit more.
Which way? Oh yeah, I did this one. Yeah, perfect.
And then edit a bit more.
The entirety of the bill.
Good luck, and don't fuck it up. That could be gone, but well, we'll see if that.
Watching Matty work was very comforting because this is how I work as well. It's certainly not the most streamlined process, and there's a lot of trial and error involved, but I have found that as a creator, it allows me the most control over an edit. Every shot can be perfect.
Okay. That's enough to go back and start editing.
From start to finish, this I Invented social video took a little over an hour. Then Matty airdropped the video to his phone, and we went to lunch, where he began posting everything.
Doing one last check, making sure something isn't wrong. Can't hear the audio though, so we'll see if the audio's messed up.
First comment.
Audio sucks. That's a good gift for the cover.
Oh, it's so perfect.
On Instagram, I'll do like the exact video script and post it as the video script. TikTok, I'll do something else. Let's hope it was a payday if you randomly get selected. Post. And we're uploading.
Oh my god, it's me!
What are the odds of that? So now we'll get it up on Instagram. And share. Now we gotta keep going. Onto YouTube Shorts. And upload short. 3 out of... We'll get Twitter, Snapchat, and LinkedIn. Gotta get LinkedIn. 15 minutes in. We're just over 40,000 on Instagram. That's good.
But then while reading comments on this short, I learned what was maybe the most interesting part about Matty's process.
Engineering it for the comment section as well is like definitely a part of the way that I like think about when I am inventing and designing the different products. Step 1, get 5 friends. It's not necessarily the things I make, but it's like the way I make them that make people either mad in the comments or mess with people's brains, and not necessarily like the thing itself. So it's like the little Easter eggs I had in it. The most successful one was a Tic Tac holster I made. So it was like to get rid of the rattle in a Tic Tac canister. So you like put it in and it had individual cells that you put all the Tic Tacs in. Had 16 on each side. And so I was like, oh, so if I do that right, that's 36 Tic Tacs. And I think it's up to 20,000 comments on YouTube of people telling me it's 32 and not 36. No matter what, you gotta give people their little moment to be right.
Before I left for the day, there was one more thing Matty had to do. There's a very small storefront for rent just up the street from his studio that recently caught his eye.
What's up? How's it going? Good. Here it is. Yeah. Just small enough that it feels like I should do something with it. And
For Matty, this little space could be the next step in Unnecessary Inventions evolution.
I want things to be more in real life. That like I've done all of this stuff over the past 5 years on the internet, and having, whether it's like some crazy in-person experience, but just like taking the essence of what I do and maybe applying it to different places and different things that aren't on the internet. I was about to say some of the ideas, but I don't want to let them out just in case someone takes them.
So that's the Unnecessary Invention story, and I think what has stuck with me the most after spending a whole day with Matty and spending a whole lot of time in the edit is that for someone who has built such a rich presence online full of imaginary ideas, what Matty wants next is actually something that's far more rooted in reality. It's interesting. I'm Becca. This was the very first episode of my new Creator Focus series. I hope you liked it. Please let me know down below, and also let me know who you want me to profile next. Appreciate you so much. And I'll see you in the next one.
So we have a Arduino here hooked up to this button. Moves this motor in a randomized motion, and we've got this bumper here. So then as it spins around, it raises each card depending on which one is selected.